What's up, everybody? This is going to be episode 9 of the podcast, and I wanted to do a solo episode, kind of because because I couldn't find somebody to be my guest. Two, kind of because I wanted to do this as like a checkpoint. The next episode, which is the 10th episode, I do have a guest for that one, and that's going to be the last one of this like season. I want to do some reworking. I want to do like a setup. It's not going to be here anymore, so I want to work on that. I want to work on getting a better camera because right now I'm working on my laptop camera, my webcam. Lighting, I'm using a lamp. You can't see that, but I do want to all of that to improve. So I'm gonna stop at episode 10 and be gone for maybe I don't know. I don't know how long it's gonna take to do all that, but I am gonna try to do it like in a timely manner because I don't want to be too I don't want to be gone too long. But so yeah, I just wanted to do this episode as kind of like a checkpoint, because there are some things that I want to talk about regarding the podcast itself. uh Originally my whole goal for the podcast was just to, I don't know, I've always been the type of person to want to do something like this. I've always imagined myself having my own talk show, my own, maybe a reality show, but I'm not that interesting of a person. But I have always imagined myself having a talk show. I grew up watching uh I didn't grow up watching talk shows in particular, but there was one that I was kind of like obsessed with, which was Chelsea Lately. So I would watch her like every night, literally, and I would always imagine myself in that position and what I would do if I did have a talk show and how I would run it and how I would, do things. And then YouTube came along, and I've always imagined myself like, why don't you do this? Like, why don't you start a YouTube? Like, just talk, just do, or like just post videos of whatever, like so many people became famous off of YouTube. And it wasn't that I wanted to become famous or anything. It's just that I felt like such a connection to that space back in the day and all the people that I did watch. And it felt so comfortable to me. And I felt like these people got on the internet and got on YouTube, and they created like new worlds for themselves almost. They became probably like an enhanced version of something that they would see in their regular life, and they amplified it. And then from that, they like they grew a community. They met people that they probably would have never met had they not taken themselves online, and they were able to show their personalities. I always make the argument that having personality and being able to capture an audience and hold that audience's attention is a talent. So I know a lot of people always say like, oh, these TikTokers, these YouTubers, like they have no real talent. Record yourself and see if anybody's going to watch you and see if you can captivate an audience, and then tell me like come back and say that. Like, it's hard to capture somebody's attention and create an audience for yourself. Like, it's not that easy. Not everybody is going to want to watch everybody, so these people, and I used to watch people back in the day on YouTube that they're not really they're around in their own way these days, but they're not as big as they were back then, just because the whole YouTube uh environment has changed throughout the years. It's still popular, and people, and there's still so many there's still such a large audience there, but it's not as big as, if you look at, or it's not as popular as if you would look at something like TikTok these days, where that's the space where everybody wants to be. But I don't gravitate towards TikTok as much, just because I feel like you don't get to like sit down and talk and get to know somebody. I like watching like long form videos, so anything 10 plus minutes, like that's what I enjoy watching more than just these, short TikTok clips. Those are entertaining, those are fun, and they can be very funny. I feel like TikTok is like such a funny place if you find the right people to follow. But I just like the YouTube space more. And I'm still finding little YouTubers here and there that I still enjoy watching. I like lifestyle videos, so I like people just like showing us how they live, showing us how they shop, stuff like that. Cities that I won't never go to, and they show us that environment that they live in, and it helps you feel cultured without being cultured. Like I've never gone to these places. Maybe I never will, but I know a little bit about them, and I know some of the people that live there just from the internet. So I've always been captivated by that, and I've always been captivated about trying to create an audience. And not obviously, I'm not saying that I am creating an audience here, because being completely realistic, it's not like these podcast episodes are getting, oh my god, so many crazy views. But I know that I'm capable of increasing the viewership as time goes on, and if I'm able to do what I want to do, then I know that viewership can increase, because I've seen it done before. I've seen little small podcasts start off, or little small creators, they start and they're not getting as many views, and then as time progresses, they get better at what they're doing, or they find ways to promote themselves, like they grew and they skyrocket. And I know that that's possible for me too. um I just need to put some time and some work into it. And I know that uh like again, when I started this, there was no real purpose for the podcast. Like I said, the title is Gatekeeping, and it was originally supposed to be me and my friend Xavier, and we were supposed to be the hosts, and obviously we're gay, so that was where gatekeeping came from. But he couldn't do it because of time restraints and everything. So I just decided to keep that the name for the show, and just continue it into my own. And my hope was to bring a new guest every video, and get an insight to people, because there's so many different people in the world, and even the people that that are you're close with, they're so different from other people that So I want to get people on here that have different opinions, have different ways of life, they just think differently. And I wanted people to see that, And the thing is, everybody that I have on my show, I'm friends with. So I have a different relationship with all of these different people. And I just think that's such a it's just such a incredible thing. The fact that so many different people from different walks of life can have relationships with so many different people, and it's always going to be different. And I have there's one idea for an episode that I have that I don't think it's going to happen for this season, but if I do record it, if this person is available for during the time that I'm going to take a break, I'll still record that episode, and I probably will still randomly upload it, because I really want to do that episode, because I really want to get some insight in how that person lives and lived in the past. And I just think that would be a really entertaining episode. And I'm not going to say what it is. I don't want to spoil it. I want to kind of keep it a secret until it's released, but I think it would be fun. And so I'm excited to do that one. And I'm excited to find more guests in the future, which is another thing that I really want to work on, because lately, I mean, it's just been my friends, and I love my friends, but I'm running out of people to choose from. And I don't want to do repeats as much, just because I feel like that's kind of a scapegoat and I'm taking the easy way out. The same thing with these solo episodes. I know I've done one before. Solo episodes, I just feel like it's really hard for one person to just entertain a group of people for a long time. I feel like two or more people, it's easier to do that, and it's better to bounce back uh each other while you're talking, and that's more entertaining to listen to than just me just talking to you guys. I enjoy solo podcasts and solo videos and stuff like that, but I don't know, a lot of people don't, and I understand why. It's understandable, but so that's why I don't want to do these often either. And right now, I don't know, you'll probably see my little name at the bottom in the video if you're watching. I'm recording this on Zoom by myself. So it's well, why are you recording it on Zoom? I haven't figured out, since I'm using my laptop's camera, I couldn't figure out how to change the audio setting to put my microphone instead of the microphone on the camera on the laptop. So excuse me, I'm using Zoom, because there I can obviously change it. But later on, I'll get a webcam and I'll be able to situate that so that I don't have to use Zoom unless I'm talking with somebody else. That's another thing. Like, I'm not a professional, and I'm trying to spend as little money on this as possible because that's just not in my budget right now. And that's just being realistic, you know. And I feel like that's not a something that's going to hold me back. And like, if somebody doesn't want to watch this because of the quality of the video, or like the way I record it on a Zoom or whatever, like, okay, my audio isn't going to be horrible. You know, I have a microphone. Once I get a webcam, the video is not going to be horrible either. Editing might be a little, I don't do too much editing just because I don't know how, like, I don't know how to do crazy things. But also when it comes to editing a podcast, I don't want to put too much into it because different types of viewers get different things. So if I do visuals, the audio listeners aren't going to get that. And I could just do audio edits, but like I just don't see the purpose in that. And a lot of podcasts that I listen to don't do too much audio stuff. But the visual ones they do. But again, I don't want to do that, and the audio listeners don't get as much out of the episode, you know. But yeah, so I am gonna work on the setup and everything, better camera, light, so that I'm more lit, and finding not better guests, because all my guests have been amazing. I'm so thankful for all my friends and acquaintances, people that I know that have done the podcast. I'm just interested to find more guests that can provide a different perspective from their life and the way they live. Uh, but yeah, I want to thank everybody that was the guest. I want to thank Candy for being my very first guest, Xavier, my most recent guest, Florencio, Michael, Mary, Chelsea, my best friend, and I think that's it. If I'm not mistaken. If I missed somebody, I'm super sorry. Um, but yeah, I'm just so thankful for all of them to agree to be on it. Again, I do have some other ones that I've been talking to and messaging with to see if they've agreed to it. I guess it's just a timing issue and like what the topic is going to be. Um, but hopefully those will come in with the next part of the show when we move forward. But yeah, I'm very interested, and maybe I'll start reaching out to people that I don't know as much, and just that way, like, it's kill two birds with one stone. So I get to know the more people, and they also have a different perspective that, like, they can tell me something that, since I don't know them, everything is going to be completely new, you know. So yeah, that's going to be something that I'm going to work on, along with getting the new setup and getting the background setup and the new, like, technical setups, you know. If I look over here, it's because I'm glancing at my notes of what I want to do. So yeah, the future of the podcast is, like, I've touched on it a couple of times already. I want to get more guests to provide different perspectives. I don't know, like, honestly, that's just what I like to do. I just want to talk to people, and I just want you guys to, like, listen. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not trying to be informative. I'm just trying to talk. I love conversational podcasts. And honestly, that's all I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to be something that you can put on and listen to and feel like you're in a room with people talking, and it just makes you feel comfortable. Like, that's the type of stuff I like. I don't like the crazy podcasts. I don't like the drama podcasts. I like to laugh. I like funny ones also, you know, but that just comes in conversation when you're talking to somebody. I don't want to try to be funny. I don't want to try to be drama filled and like all this stuff. And again, the informative stuff comes with whatever I like. There's no real topic. Sometimes there is a topic, like the zombie episode, you know. But that's because it's something that me and Mary have in common, and I knew that she really liked zombies. But there's not always going to be a topic. It's just conversational, just me and whoever the guest is talking, or me here talking to you guys like this. And I just want it to be something that yeah, just makes you feel comfortable, that you could just put on while you're eating, while you're cleaning, while you're driving, just stuff like that, you know. So I want to continue doing that, again, get more guests, and I do want to see the podcast grow. I wanted to see like the YouTube uh get more views, the Spotify, my Spotify get more streams. I'm not on Apple Music yet. I do need to work on that. Honestly, I just sometimes I get very lazy, guys. Like excuse me. Um it's tough because listen, I'm not the type of people like a lot of these podcasters that I listen to, they're coming off of a career on social media. So they don't have real jobs, or not real jobs. Sorry. I don't want to like take that away from them, but they don't have 9 to 5s. They're not working. Um they're not going somewhere and doing a job and then coming back home. I have a part-time job. So, and then I have to have my social life planned around that job. So I have to work on setting time for the podcast and recording, and that's difficult as well, aligning with other guests and stuff. And maybe put more work into the editing. But again, like sometimes I'm just tired from the day, or just issues that I have in life that are like taking a toll on my mental health. So that makes it to where I just don't want to. There's some stuff I just don't want to do. Like not that the podcast isn't something that I want to do, but just yeah. So I like being realistic. There's some things that I struggle with in life, mental health wise, that make it to where I'm some days where I'm really unmotivated to do anything, to where I don't even want to go to work, but I have to go to work because I have to pay my bills and stuff. But my day will be miserable because I don't want to be at work, but I have to. So if I'm having those days where I don't have to be at work, or I went to work and then I come home, the last thing I want to do is do to open my laptop and whatever. Not even that. I just don't want to do anything. So that sometimes gets in the way of this. And it's something that I need to work on as well. I need to work on my mental health, physical health, all of that, in order that, I mean, because that affects the podcast. Like I said, on those days, if I don't feel like recording, I won't, or if I don't feel like editing, I won't, and I'll put it off to the very last minute, and that affects the upload date of the podcast. I know like sometimes people are expecting it. I do try to upload on I try to upload on Wednesdays, and some people expect it on Wednesdays and it just doesn't happen. I'll skip a couple of weeks and I'll upload it then, and I hate that because I hate when I'm following a podcast and they do that. So I don't want to be that person. But again, my circumstance is different from theirs in that I have a job that's kind of like draining. It'll drain my energy. So to come home, I have to be better about it. And so I do apologize for that. The people that are like actually listening on a weekly basis when I upload, I apologize for not doing it on a weekly basis all the time. And I do want to try to be better about that. I want to try to be better about a schedule and actually following that schedule, because I feel like that will also help with the progress of the podcast. Like it'll bring more viewer in, more listeners in, and it'll just help me out in life. Like I can that planning and scheduling is not something that I only need to do for the podcast. It's for something I need to do for everything else. So it'll just be beneficial to everything in my life. Um, but I did want to do another segment for this episode because I didn't want to just be boring and just talk about the podcast and like be introspective, and so I wanted to talk about I just said like, let's keep it light towards the end of it. Not that this was dark and heavy, but let's get a little lighter. So I did want to talk about things that I'm tired of, because lately there are some stuff I'm just like, I'm tired of hearing about this. I'm tired of seeing this. Like, can we just get over it as a group? The first thing on that list is I'm tired. Maybe it's just because of the side of TikTok that I'm on, but I'm so tired of hearing about Multiverse of Madness, which was Doctor Strange 2, the most recent Marvel movie. It's like just get a grip, guys. I know we love to talk about we do that with everything. I do it with everything as well. But it's like, okay, you're beating a dead horse now. We're not the directors, the producers of these movies, we don't really know what's going on in the grand scheme of things. My biggest issue is that a lot of the critiques for this movie is, oh, Marvel's not doing it like they used to, or they're not tying everything together, blah, blah, blah. It took 10 years to tie everything together for Marvel. Like it hasn't been, this phase has not taken 10 years yet. It's gonna take a while. There's still a lot of individual movies that need to be released. Um, I haven't looked into it, but the Avengers movie didn't come out like immediately after two movies or whatever. Like we still have some time. I think what makes it feel longer is the fact that they're introducing shows now. So it's like, okay, we've had three shows, we've had a few movies already, and people are expecting that to be like, now we need a group, we need an Avengers, we need to tie it in. Like, just chill out, let them do what they're doing. They've done it before, they'll do it again. It's all gonna be good. Like, it's fine. I'm just tired of hearing about it. Just stop talking about it, guys. Another thing I'm tired of talking about and tired of hearing about, because I don't talk about it, is the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard case. Why do we care so much? Why do we care so much about these white people like fighting? Like who cares? Who cares? Maybe it's because I'm not a Johnny Depp fan. I never was. And not to say that what's happening, and if it was happening, is okay. Like if she actually made a lot of this stuff up, like that's not cool either. But I just don't care. I don't like it's I don't think it should be so uh talked about. Like why is everybody talking about it? Like I guess because he really is a Hollywood star, and I guess that's another reason why I don't care, because I just never saw the appeal in him. But yeah, I don't want to hear about it anymore. And also I think I understand why they're doing it, but no shade, like Amber Heard, I feel like she's not looking her best, and I feel like they're doing that on purpose so they make her seem more distressed. And I have heard about that in cases where they're like, oh, don't do your makeup, don't put your hair a certain way to like so you can come off a certain way, so they can create, you know, a narrative. But she looks bad. Like I don't know if it's, she looks like she's had surgeries, or not surgeries, but like fillers and stuff, and like they're wearing out. And like that's not how I remember her looking in Aquaman. That's really the only thing I've seen her from. But she just looks kind of, I mean, and Johnny Depp doesn't look great either. So, but she looks like they're actively trying to make her look bad, like down her as possible, so that like, oh, she looks like she's in distress, you know? But yeah, I just don't care. I just like, just stop talking about it. It's not that important. There's bigger things. Well, I was gonna say there's bigger things going on in the world, but we're allowed to talk about multiple things at the same time. So do whatever you want to. I'm just tired of seeing it. Okay. Uh, my last thing I want to talk about what I'm tired of. And I know my friends are gonna come over here and like comment. I know people are gonna say stuff about it, but I don't care, guys. I'm so sick of the Kim Kardashian hate train. Like she has literally, in the grand scheme of things, Kim Kardashian has not done too many bad things. Like if anything, she's done more good than bad. But for some reason, people seem to hate her so much. And I do understand she has done some things, like, you know, there's cultural appropriation that she's done, and she has made some ignorant statements before, like the whole get your ass up and work thing, which I don't think was, uh, I do think that was taken out of context slightly. Even when she explained it again, it didn't really sound great. So I agree that she has said some ignorant things, and again, the cultural appropriation. But the extreme that people take it to, like I was looking up stuff to talk about on the news, and I saw the Sports Illustrated thing, and which I had already seen her Sports Illustrated image on social media, you know, and I think she looks great. Like it's a great cover. All the other girls look great as well. But of course, because it's Kim Kardashian, people want to start trashing her. And like I was seeing the comments that they were like, oh, I'm so disappointed in Sports Illustrated because Kim doesn't represent what you guys have been offering lately about body positivity and blah blah blah. But let's start there. if you're upset and disappointed at Sports Illustrated for posting Kim because Kim doesn't represent body positivity and all this stuff, which she does, because on her Skims campaign, she does show different body types, like multiple different body types. So that's something that you're creating on your own. But Sports Illustrated also was not that type of magazine before. Like they never had multiple different types of body, and they weren't always about body positivity. So like the logic doesn't make sense to me, to where you would be upset for them for posting her just because. And the argument is that she's not about body positivity because the surgery, like all this stuff, and also because she made the comment about having to lose a lot of weight to fit in the Marilyn Monroe dress. And I don't know what the actual quote was, but let's see. um I think, I don't want to quote exactly, but I think she might have said like, oh, I had to starve myself to fit in this dress, you know. And a lot of people were saying how that had to that's promoting, that's not something to promote like to young people and to people in the world. But it's like, she wasn't promoting that. She had a she had she wanted to wear this dress. She wanted to, she loves to make fashion statements, you know. And she did that. She's not promoting it. She didn't say, oh, you guys should really do this. um so here's like a comment saying, to walk on a red carpet and do an interview where you say how starving you are because you haven't eaten carbs in the last month, all to fit in a fucking dress. And I think that was from, yeah, that was from Lily Reinhart, who like after the Met Gala she had that stuff to say. But it's like, I don't think I don't think she actually starved herself, guys. I think she it was like an exaggeration. Like she probably just dieted really hard and worked out to fit in that. And I feel like there's such a disconnect. There's a disconnect between celebrities and real life, where we literally say exaggerations all the time. Like I know people that say, "Oh, I've starved myself and I'm blah blah blah," but they don't mean that they actually starve themselves. They mean that they're like just following a very strict diet, and so they equate it to that. And yes, saying, I just feel like these celebrities, people in general, should not be responsible for what they say, unless it's targeted to a specific person. What they say should not be like put up here to be responsible for everybody else's like emotions and feelings. Like, you as an, yes, these people are influential, but you as a person are responsible for your own well-being, your own mental health, your own physical health. Like, we cannot allow these celebrities and people to have so much influence over us, especially over something that was not like an actual, like a for a fact statement. Like, it was it, why are you allowed, you as a regular person, you're allowed to make exaggerations and exaggerated comments and stuff, but she's not. Like, we say, oh my god, I'm dying of hunger. You're not dying of hunger, you're just hungry. And that's something that we say on a daily basis. But Kim Kardashian says she was starving herself, and you're taking it for a fact like that she was actually starving herself, and now she's promoting that to people. Like, it doesn't make sense. And I feel like the only reason people do that is because, like, I don't know, I feel like there's this culture where people just want to see people like, there's a new person to get rid of every single day. Like, and it's getting draining. And it's like, I don't know, I just want to, like, instead of, and it's negative energy, it's just constant negative energy to these situations. And it's like, I get it, I get that there's some things, like when she has done the cultural appropriation in the past, that does need to be addressed. It does need to be talked about, because it's something that needs to be uh that has been going on for a while. And if a culture or a community of people says that, hey, we're not really okay with this and we're not really feeling that, it needs to be addressed so that it can be stopped in the future, and so you're not offending that group of people. But when it's something like this, like, I just don't get it. And I'm sure people are going to have their opinions about it, and that's okay. I welcome the opinions. I welcome the discussion that we can have from this. Uh, but yeah, listen, the Kardashians have done way worse than say I starved myself to get in this dress, or I've been starving for whatever, you know. Um, like take all this anger out on Travis, like, or Travis and Kylie. Like, don't let them come back into the forefront of this, of social media, of whatever. I know I saw a TikTok lately where they said like, oh, here they come. They're trying to make their way back into the spotlight after this, after that situation. Then don't allow them to. Like, you guys, the society counsels so many people and that haven't had careers like they haven't before. So like, why can't y'all do this to these celebrities? And I think the difference is because these celebrities have so much power that it doesn't really work like with the canceling of like James Charles or um these like YouTubers or TikToks. We can cancel them because they don't have as much power as some of these celebrities do that have money, like um money rooted in different organizations and businesses and with other people, you know. But they would have to do something horrible, like I think like what happened at Travis's concert was horrible. And yeah, I'm just, yeah, I just think we need to focus positive energy, focus that energy into things like I said, the cultural appropriation. If somebody's being racist, if somebody's I don't know, and the things that actually matter, or the things that are actually tangible and real. If Kim came out and said, listen, you're a fat bitch and you need to jog, you need to go get out and jog, and you need to stop eating donuts all damn day, bitch, like, then I would get it. But that's not what she said, guys. And it's just like, I'm just, I don't know. But that's where I'm going to wrap up this episode. Again, as I touched on in the beginning of the episode, thank you everybody who has been supporting the podcast for the 9 episodes now, because this will be the 9th episode. 10th episode will be coming. Again, I do have a guest for that. Thank you everybody who's been supporting the podcast. I'm going to take a break for a while. I don't know how long, just until I can get everything situated. Thank you everybody again, and I'm hopefully you were able to find this entertaining, this solo episode. I do think this solo episode went better than the last one. I don't know, I felt awkward on the last one, and this one feels more um conversational. It feels more easygoing, more flowy. So yeah, if you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and please like the video, subscribe to the channel, share it. I know I have some friends that share all of my videos, and I'm so grateful for that, because it does bring people, it does bring listeners. And especially I notice that when the guests do it as well, if they have a bigger, like a bigger follower base than I do, it does help out a lot. So please share my video, like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you're listening on Spotify, please, you can actually subscribe to the podcast on there as well. I don't know, I think it's called following. So you can follow the podcast there as well, and you'll be notified every time I upload. That way you don't even have to go search it out. You'll just be notified. You can also rate the podcast on Spotify. So please do that, because it does help as well. I think it gets me like on more, it helps with the algorithm on Spotify. I do have a TikTok for, hold on, let me look at it real quick, for the podcast. It is called Gatekeeping Podcast, GAYKEEPING. Go subscribe to that as well. I don't have any other social media for gatekeeping, just because I don't know. I don't know if I want to do, maybe if I get more followers and stuff in the future, then then I'll work on like an instance, stuff like that. But I just think it's easier right now to promote from my personal one. But yeah, thank you guys again for listening and watching to this week's episode. And yeah, keep an eye out. We will have an episode. I'm going to do an episode next week. I'm not going to skip for the last one. So next week, there will be a new episode, the 10th and final episode of the season. Again, thank you so much, guys. And I will see you next time.